and we'll be discussing great, interesting topic in today and in also in coming episodes. So, welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today? And before I start the show, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Kanchan. Allow me to say, let the new year be nice to us at the least. I will tell you happy maybe few months later when the things become really happy. I'm well, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can understand your feelings, and all of us, whatever we are facing currently, because due to social distancing. And I must say that one wonderful thing which has occurred here is because now we have vaccine, and we think that now we have a cure of COVID. And at the same time, I feel this is one of the fastest discovery or a kind of experiment which is being done in last in human history, because I think this all research on this vaccine started maybe a year back, and now we have a vaccine. So I think we are happy. We should be happy.
Yeah, we should be happy. And one another thing, if I think like a corporate manager, I was reading somewhere that generally a vaccine search takes at least 5 to 10 years of time. But given the seriousness of this one, the COVID-19, the way the vaccines have been researched and brought in public, and also millions of doses have been given of various of them. I now realize that next time when a scientist would go and ask for a funding for a next vaccine research, the government or the companies would say, now that you have proven you can get a vaccine in 1 year, so please don't take the grants for 5 or 10 years now. There cannot be a vaccine for which you must be doing 10 years of research. So that way, I think we have learned, the humanity has learned that if everyone puts in equal amount of research together, a vaccine can be found in 1 year or at least 2 years timeline, which is potent enough for probably 85% of the population, given the trials, what they are happening. But, Kanchan, because of this research in this, there are a lot of science, other news that has been actually under the wraps. And there have been multiple findings, discoveries.
Yes,
And that's
right.
our conversation today.
Yes, you are very right, Sitesh. This year has been a tough one. No matter where we live in the world, and the discovery beyond our planet and dazzling images of cosmos provide a bright spot in 2020. Now, we know we had been talking about Earth and earthly matters, you see. But Sitesh, we hardly know about our own oceans. We have knowledge only 10% of. But today I will be discussing or sharing a few things about our space. 3 missions of Mars was launched in 2020, including 2 rovers, 2 orbiters, and 1 lander. NASA has launched a Mars 2020 mission, which include rover and Mars helicopter. And I think that is a great news. I think some of you missed it.
Yes, of course. And we did not realize in this whole pandemic time that we are just a speck of a dust in this vast universe, and probably even in our own solar system. And the different discoveries which caught my eye was the first one when I realized that some scientists or astronomers are talking about a science of life on Venus.
Yes.
I said, oh gosh, we know in this planet that women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Is that going to be another feminist movement, finding life on Venus? And I think that was an interesting journey where I looked into closely, and there was a kind of a phosphine bubbles found, though Venus is very inhospitable in our solar system, but in its clouds there was this material or metal or element phosphine which was found, which was kind of having some traces of the life could have the traces over there. But I think there are many other discoveries in the space, and the space remains is still the same puzzle despite seeing so much in last 100 200 years. It is still remains largely an unknown terrain. And I think the progress made by Elon Musk's company SpaceX and Virgin Galactic and others, I think we are gearing up to take ourselves into the realms of Mars and the moon. But I think somebody needs to consolidate the information coming in from beyond our galaxy as well, isn't it?
Yes, we had been too much indulged in our worldly affairs, and we somehow neglected the space happening and this space research which are being done by astronauts. There are 100 million new galaxies has been identified in 2020, and they are full of the Australian square kilometer area pathfinder. Relies on 36 antennas to record the skies, and this is how we come to know about this galaxy. A part of this, we also found ghostly radio circles, which is again is a bulb kind of thing, and which is seen in space. And research are going on this. So there are so many things which are happening in space. In fact, in India also we have a space program which is gearing up, because we have what Prime Minister of India has said, that we have a timeline. One is a manned space shuttle, and one is orbiter, which has to be launched before, I think, 2024, I guess.
Yeah, I think ISRO has got some very ambitious plans for Mars and for other kind of exploration. And it is commendable that India, despite having such a massive population in the world, and our GDP, and the pandemic situation, is still we are committed towards the space exploration, and that speaks volumes about Indians uh, as the people on this planet who truly believe that we need to search for other worlds beyond our planet. And I think around this, I'm sure there is a lot of collaboration that happens between the space agencies of the world. And earlier in 2020, I was planning to go to Square Kilometer Array in South Africa, which is near Cape Town, on the way from Johannesburg to Cape Town. And there are telescopes which are looking into our galaxy and the other galaxy. And South Africa, the location that is chosen, is one of the great locations to look into the dark nights of the skies. And people go there from all over the world, and there are some telescopes through which one can actually look into the galaxies and far beyond. And I wanted to do that, but again, thanks to COVID, that the time that was people suggested, at that time it was closed, the Square Kilometer Array, and I couldn't visit it myself. The whole town where this telescope is there, the whole town is remains in the dark, so that it is not impacting the telescopes. So there are these kind of discoveries. The best part is now the science news is available in such a lucid manner, Kanchan, so that even a school student can understand if they read it continuously. On Instagram, lot of space related handles are there where they depict these information in a very, very pictorial manner, whether it is determining the amount of matter in our universe, or a new approach to gene therapy, or it is eradicating mosquito borne disease. I mean, there it was found that this 2020 that dengue can be, eradicated completely from the planet if a mosquito can be given some bacteria, which is Wolbachia, and it can reduce 77% of challenges that we face from the mosquitoes dengue. This also helps in eradicating Zika and yellow fever.
Yes, that is a great news, I guess. And because we in this side of the world, we really suffer by these mosquitoes. So coming back to this space research, I also read something about x-ray blobs busting from the Milky Way. You know, millions of years ago, an explosion in the center of the Milky Way blasted energized material above and below the gangetic disk. It's a big disk. So these material is still visible. You know, have you seen that somehow you got any chance to view space from telescope? Are you able to see a couple of these galaxies?
So that was my hobby many years back when I used to stay in houses in North India which had roofs. Now we live in apartments where the roof is not ours, and it is very hard to see, the galaxies, and given the pollution levels and the fog or the smog. And now the trend in especially in the African region, in the South Africa, I see people buy telescopes. They buy very expensive telescopes, and many of the resorts, they keep telescopes where people can go and watch while they have a stay. The skies are clear in South Africa. The moon looks bigger in the full moon night. And I have heard the conjunction that happened in December, the Saturn and the Jupiter coming closest in 800 years, that was visible so clearly from the South African soil. So I myself want to buy a good telescope. But the challenge, Kanchan, is that buying a telescope in India makes no sense if in the large, these structures, the buildings that we have, I will have to go to a village or a forest to make, set up my telescope and then look into the skies.
Okay, no worries. So I'll tell you what we missed. I mean, you and I missed about these X-ray spectrum. Now, I was talking about there's a galactic disk of Milky Way, and it is visible. The material, it's visible still. And in that, there's a glowing in the gamma ray spectrum in two clumps discovered in 2010, known as Fermi bulbs. In 2020, researchers have found another pair of blobs in the same region and visible in an X-ray spectrum. So it is another very important discovery is being done, or research being done, and studies will be done ahead on this. So I think we are, we will be saying that the space is a smaller word after some time, I guess.
Yeah, Kanchan, I'm very intrigued by a couple of other news that came around these in 2020. It says that the aliens that might see us. There was another news which said that there are aliens, but they basically progressed so much that they annihilated themselves. They destroyed themselves. So then some news which also said we humans are the aliens that is searching for someone else. And So Alien is definitely a great story or a narrative. And then in last December, end of December, we saw the strange monolith coming out of many cities in USA. And I heard it is now also appearing in India in some places.
Yes, I heard it is in Gujarat, I guess, somewhere. So that.
Yes. So it is. So I think if the science, the people who really study this seriously, if they put it across in a factual way, but they put it into a nice stories around it, not the science fiction kind of a story, but more about the usefulness about it, I think it will become a mass movement. I'm very much intrigued by the source of fast radio bursts that the scientists are seeing coming out of the space, and for a few seconds it appears on the telescope, and then it goes away. No, they speculate that some alien civilization is throwing out a radio signal, and it is trying to reach us, but we are not able to capture it for a longer time. In 1972 or 75, NASA sent out some Voyager, where if I'm correct, and there were all the planet's languages were written on a gold disc, which was sent out, and it is now beyond our solar system. There are so many things that are happening in this, like you said, million new galaxies. If you remember, Kanchan, when we were small, in a full moon night, we could have seen a galaxy ourselves. But now probably we will have to go to Grand Canyon in America to see it.
Okay, so when I'm here to tell you more. See, there's researchers have detected a bright kilonova, a light show the aftermath of two neutron stars merging together. Kilonova is rare in space, but researchers have seen them before. This one is special, though weird signal in the kilonova light indicates the presence of something new. So actually, every day we are coming near to new findings, especially in space. But yet we have to really research and we have to know more about the space, because every time and again there are new things which has come up and which sometimes really intrigue me, and I want to know more about them.
Let's secure a funding from National Geographic or Discovery Channel, and then let's go, Kanchan, and to visit all the square telescopic areas in the planet. In fact, one of them actually destroyed itself near US, which is supposed to be, which was also showcased in some movie, a Hollywood movie, and it fell from its own burden. And it is said that it was the third eye of this planet, which was looking into the distant galaxies, but now that is destroyed. So me and you should secure some funding, and we must go and visit all these telescopes and see the galaxies and come back and tell our listeners.
Yeah, I think like us, there are many people who will like to go and visit and see by their own eyes how wonderful the space is. So I think 2020 was not that bad year, but I also want to share my thought processes that 2021, which has one, W on one in the, is a suffix of 20. So I think that will also be good. And we are hopeful, and we should be hopeful, and I think it all will be well in this year.
Yes, Kanchan, 2021 has come, and 2024 is when Mr. Elon Musk has said that the first humans will go to Mars. So it is 3 years from now, and I would like to see who is in the first flight or in the first few flights. Let's see if I get a chance.
Yeah, it was wonderful talking to you, Sitesh, and we look forward to have more episode of space-related subjects. It was lovely talking to Sitesh. Till tomorrow, bye-bye.
Thank you, Kanchan. Thank you.
Bye.